Hey everyone, this is Alex and welcome to my updated Stamina Nightblade Archer build for Clockwork City, the newest update. As usually, I am playing a maximum damage Archer build, and this time the sets have changed quite a bit and for a good reason. So basically here are the stats. We have about 4k weapon damage buffed up. We have 35k stamina, maximum stamina. Stamina recovery doesn't matter. Weapon critical almost 50%. None of this stuff matters. I'm stage 4 vampire for maximum sneaking speeds. And as you can see, my sneak speed is ridiculously fast. And this is very important because I have very good magicka management as well. And you want to be as stealthy as possible. Move in, kill your targets and move out. Now the damage is absolutely insane, both initial damage as well as damage over time because of the sets that I'm using. And basically the first set that I'm using is Morak Tongue, and this is one of the best sets for an archer build because all of our damage is poison damage. So as soon as you do initial damage with anything really, you get another 10% damage bonus, and this is huge because, as I said, all of our damage is poison damage. Other than that, maximum stamina and 2 times weapon damage is very good as well. Now an alternative is Night Mother for less experienced players. You can use something like that to complement your stealthing capabilities, but they're pretty good as it is, so it's not really required. Although if you do like the looks of this set, you can totally go with that one as well. It's a very good set. You get a little extra stamina recovery bonus, which doesn't really matter since we're sneaking all the time. But the last 5th bonus is very good for a Bosmer in full medium armor. Your detection radius can be extremely low, but it's already low as it is. So that's the first set. I have a medium Divine's helmet, jack, boots and legs. All of it is Divines and medium armor. And then I have one piece of a monster set for weapon damage, also Divine's full stamina enchantments. And then my second set is Sheer Venom, and this is an awesome set that also gives me maximum stamina and 2 times weapon damage. Jewelry is full robust with weapon damage. It might take you a little bit of time to farm it, but it will be totally worth it. And what this does basically on one of our skills, it adds an additional damage over time effect. So it says when you deal damage with an execute ability, which is pretty much what poison injection is, and poison injection already does poison damage over time as well, you get an additional amplified bonus. For me the tooltip is 11.5k, so it pretty much bumps up your poison injection by quite a bit, and it really hurts people who are low health. Every tick will be very strong, and I'll go over the rotations very soon. But basically that's it. I'm using 5 pieces of Sheer Venom, hands and belt as well as jewelry. I like having the toughest to farm sets like that, jewelry and 2 small pieces, so that then I can simply swap out the other set more easily, because this is something that I do not plan to change. I really like this set. It's very powerful, so that's how I do it. And 1 piece of a weapon damage bonus. Now the weapons, I have a double bow of Morak Tongue, and one of them is Nirnhound, but you can go with both sharpened. Sharpened will give you the most damage overall on anyone who doesn't have a damage shield. The only time that Nirnhound can be better is when you're attacking something like a magicka sorcerer, but you will have to wait until you can get it in this trait. So just go with sharpened. Overall it's more damage. I tested on a bunch of targets. Sharpened is still better with targets that have certain amount of resistances. On both of the bows I have the damage over time poisons. This is a double damage over time poison. As you can see, I'm combining all of the damage over time effects, so even if I don't kill you immediately, it will be very hard for you to recuperate after all of those damage over time effects are on you, because your healing will be will be reduced as much as it possibly can, because I have a lethal arrow here on my primary bar, which is a single target one, And as you can see, this inflicts a 46% healing debuff and health recovery. So when you get tagged by something like this and all that damage over time, you pretty much will not be able to heal up at all. Your healing will be totally negated by this debuff and damage over time. From sheer venom, the poisons, poison injection and lethal arrow. So what you basically do is you use Radiant Mage Light from the Mages Guild to empower lethal arrow. You launch 2 of those in a row and you follow up either with a light or a medium attack, just a basic attack, and then finally you have poison injection, which will proc sheer venom as well. And by the time that all of that is done, your target is most likely dead by now. But if it's not and you have an ultimate ready, you can just use Toxic Barrage. And as you can see, Toxic Barrage buffed up is about almost 100k tooltip. So you only need a couple of ticks to crit, it will be a lot of damage. So that's it for the first bar. Now here I also have a Camouflaged Hunter, and this is a very good skill because it gives me weapon critical, 10%, because I don't get this from the potions. I'll show you, I'm using very specialized food and potions for this type of a playstyle. Move in, do damage, move out, you want to be extremely fast. Thanks to the speed potions that I'm using, I can sneak very fast. And the last skill that I have on both bars is Concealed Weapon. I'm not using this at all. I'm just keeping it for the 25% movement bonus while sneaking or invisible. And that is how with rapid retreats or the potion, whatever effect you have, basically major speed buff, you can sneak very fast, and you have to be a stage 4 vampire, so you have to have the Dark Stalker passive. This is pretty much required. All this stuff is not really necessary, but this, you absolutely must have this. That is why Concealed Weapon is here, just for the stealthing and speed capabilities. Other skills that I have, as I said, this is a good skill because as soon as you hit someone with a critical attack, which is always a critical attack from stealth, you will get the minor berserk bonus as well, 8% extra damage in combination with Morak Tongue. It simplifies your rotation, so you don't have to use something like Relentless Focus. You can just use stuff like that, and you can simplify the rotations and get weapon critical. So it's a very, very good combo. So that's how the first bar looks like, Toxic Barrage. Now the second bar I have a little bit of utility for groups, and when I don't want to use a potion and I need the speed buff, just use this, Retreating Maneuver. Downbreaker, flawless one that gives weapon damage. You can put it on the front bar as well, but for convenience's sake, it's better to have Toxic Barrage here. You can really nuke down someone if you have it ready. But if you want, you can also put Downbreaker there, it's totally fine. Concealed Weapon is repeated again because I always want to have speed, and then I have Shadowy Disguise, and this will, with the amount of Magicka management that I have, I can, out of combat, you can cloak almost forever, if you time it right. In combat, you can use a couple of cloaks in a row easily and get a lot of distance, so you don't have to sprint away, you can just cloak away, sneak around, and full medium armor with Bosmer and even the Night Mother set, and your detection radius will be ridiculously low. Other than that, I have Draining Shot. If you can use this if someone is close to you, you want to get a little bit of distance and go away, it will heal you. So that's the only heal that I have, don't really need anything else. And then I have a little bit of AoE if you want to lay this down. Won't do that much damage, but at least you can keep people away. And finally, Flawless Dawnbreaker, a little bit of extra weapon damage and stuff. As I said, you can put this on the front bar, but for convenience's sake, it's best that you have Toxic Barrage there, because it does a lot of damage. So that's how the skills look like. The stats, about 4k weapon damage. With Nirnhold you can get a little bit higher as well. And I really like the 10% bonus from Morak Tongue. This applies pretty much to all of our main damage, so 10% more damage overall. It offsets sets such as a Clever Alchemist. You don't need them anymore really. You can just put something like this and always have passive benefits. And it's much more convenient than having to track whether your potion buff is up and all that stuff. You want to have fun while you're playing, and you want to make it as convenient and as deadly as possible. So that's what I do when I'm making a new build. I'm not just looking to make a strong build, I'm also looking to make it a very convenient build to play, so you can actually have fun and not be too hard to play. So that's it for the skills and the stats. About 6.4k weapon penetration, nothing really much. So all that matters is stamina and weapon damage, and if you can have 2 little arrows in a row, both of them can crit. One is definitely gonna crit because you always crit from sneak, but if the second one crits as well, you're pretty much gonna kill even very, very tanky targets. Other than that, let's take a look at the consumables. Jester's coins, maximum stamina and magic recovery, perfect buff that you can use with this build. And then essence of speed, as I said, stamina management, weapon damage, and major expedition for speed. And alternatively, you can also put basic speed potions to refill your ultimate when you're traveling around to have speed. But you can just use rapids and then cloak away. It's pretty much the same thing. Do not forget to level up this skill tree and get improved hiding. 40% is a huge amount, and this will enable you to sneak in full medium armor with this much reduction pretty much forever. And the champion system looks like this. I have a little bit of sprint reduction, nothing much really. I have full magic recovery, and I have 20 more points here just to get wind running for another 2% speed increase. And I need magic recovery, pretty much the only stat that matters to recover. And here I have full increase to healing reduction, and that's how you can get 46% healing debuff. That's pretty much as strong as it gets. So you can really mess your opponents up when you tag them with lethal arrow. Their healing will be totally messed up, and with all those damage over time effects, you'll pretty much negate all of their healing as well. And if you see them in trouble, just keep attacking them, it's pretty much dead. There's nothing they can do really. Now here I have a 23% direct damage attack boost, very important. Here I have a 16% damage over time boost, kind of important. This is also kind of important, 3.5k physical penetration in combination with sharpen, at least something. And then 14% overall damage increase, which is very important as well. And you want to get perfect strike. Here, none of this stuff really matters because you're a total glass cannon, so you absolutely do not want to get hit under any circumstances. So that's the downside of the build. You can get killed in 2 hits literally, so it will reward you to play very carefully, and it will be very fun. But since we're here, this is how I have it: 23% ironclad, a little bit of spell resistance, medium armor, 1 point here, and 10% here and here, as well as 19% here, all this stuff, and that's it pretty much. So the Nightblade Archer build, many of you have been asking for an updated version for Clockwork City, and the page will be up on the website. I'm gonna try and do it today. I cannot guarantee that it will be done today. It takes me a good couple of hours to make a page, but that's basically it. That's how it looks like it. Once again, rotation, simple stuff. Make sure your potion is up, weapon damage, so you don't have to check anything. Empower your first lethal arrow. As soon as it's launching, when it goes off, start charging another one. You want to have 2 of them hit in a row, and then you can do like a medium attack into poison injection, and that's it pretty much. Most people will drop dead by that time if you land everything. If you want to mess someone up, you can also use Toxic Barrage, and if everything else fails, cloak away and move out. You have a speed buff, you sneak very fast, you can cover a lot of distance. Try not to get stuck like this, that will get you killed. And if you absolutely need to get away even faster, just try and sprint. You will move a little bit faster while sprinting, but because concealed weapon is on both bars, we get 25% increase. So that's why we can also travel very fast like this. You don't even have to get a mount, you can just go like this. So that's it for the update Archer build. If you got any questions, feel free to let me know down in the comments below. As always, I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you around, guys.